Hello everyone and welcome to Changeling Gaming. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to play Castles of Mad King Ludwig. Castles of Mad King Ludwig is a level 3 play-to-learn game designed by Ted Alspach and published by Bezier Games for 1 to 4 players that takes on average an hour and a half to play. In Castles of Mad King Ludwig, we play as architects hired by King Ludwig II to design and construct various unique and beautiful castles according to his peculiar and particular requirements. We will need to be shrewd in calculating with our opponents, attempting to outmaneuver us, and increase the cost we must pay so that they may benefit. But one way or another, we will all have magnificent castles to our names at the end of it all. Setup. Place the contract board in the center of the table, on the 4-player side for 4 players, or the 2 to 3 player side for 2 or 3 players. Then assemble the rest of the board around it. Take all the rooms of a matching size and stack them on the matching sized spaces on the contract board. Place the stairs and hallways on the matching spaces. The hallways are double-sided and are otherwise identical. If playing with 3 players, remove 1 stairs tile and 2 hallway tiles. And if playing with 2 players, remove 2 stairs tiles and 4 hallway tiles. Next, take the deck of room cards, shuffle them, and deal a new deck of 44 cards for a 4-player game, 33 cards for a 3-player game, and 22 cards for a 2-player game. Place that new deck of cards on the room card stack space. Shuffle the deck of bonus cards and set those on the bonus card pile space. Set the money tokens nearby. These are referred to as marks and come in denominations of 1,000 and 5,000. Shuffle the favor tiles and place 1 on each of the favor slots present here. Do note that these 2 favor tiles are mutually exclusive and cannot both be present. Draw a starting number of room tiles based on the number of players. 7 in a 4-player game, 6 in a 3-player game, and 5 in a 2-player game. Set these next to the contract board and the values in marks. In a 2-player game, leave the rightmost space blank. Place the scoreboard at the top of the contract board so everyone can see it. Assign the Master Builder token however you want to a player. That player puts the score marker of their color on space 0. Every player going clockwise places their score marker on each of the next numbered spaces. Hand every player a player aid tile. Finally, each player receives their starting foyer of the same color as their scoring marker, 15,000 marks, and 3 bonus cards. Each player chooses 1 bonus card to discard, which is placed on the bottom of the bonus card deck. How to play. The goal of Mad King Ludwig is to gain as many points as possible. The sources of points are points scored for room placement, which we'll get into in a moment, bonus cards, which are worth points as follows: points for the number of rooms of a particular size, points for the number of rooms of a particular type, points for the number of round or square rooms, points for the number of hallways or stairs, points for each 5,000 marks held at the end of the game, points for every completed room, points for every 2 external entrances, not including enclosed courtyards or entrances in corridors, points for having 1 of each room type, and points for having 1 of each room size. Points are also scored for favor tiles, which are competitions for the following: the number of rooms of a particular type, the square footage amongst rooms of a particular type, the number of square or circular rooms, the number of rooms sized from 100 to 300, the number of rooms sized from 350 to 600, the amount of marks held at the end of the game, the number of external entrances, not including courtyards or entrances in corridors, the number of completed rooms or the number of incomplete rooms, and then there are a few points for remaining currency, and also if you have rooms from a stack that is empty, the details of which we'll get into during scoring. Each round of Castles of Mad King Ludwig follows the same series of steps. First, draw a number of cards equal to the number of blank purchasing spaces, and draw the top tiles of each stack depicted on those cards. The Master Builder will then assign each building that remains from the previous round, and all new buildings, to a purchasing price, which determines the cost for each building for the rest of the round. This is their opportunity to strategize around which buildings their opponents are likely going to want to build, so they can earn the most for themselves while not going overboard. You'll see why in a moment. After all buildings have been assigned a cost, it is time for the player to the left of the Master Builder to pick what they want to place in their castle. They can either choose a room and pay the cost assigned to it by the Master Builder, or they can purchase a corridor or stairs piece for 3,000 marks. Or they can pass their purchase and take 5,000 marks from the bank. Whatever is paid for a room or corridor/stairs is given to the Master Builder for the round. while whatever the master builder pays goes to the bank instead of another player. Play continues around to the left until the master builder takes their turn, after everyone else has gone. When placing a room, there are several elements to keep in mind. The new room must have an entrance aligned with another entrance in your castle. Room tiles may not overlap and must be placed in a 90-degree position, which is possible because the entrances for all the round rooms are at the 90-degree positions. You may position entrances against walls, though then that room will never be completed, which we'll get into in a moment. There must always be at least one entrance that leads outside of the castle. Enclosed courtyards do not count. Any downstairs pieces, so rooms, downstairs hallways, and the bottoms of stairs, must be connected with each other and cannot be connected to the entrances of upstairs rooms, though you can place them so that their walls are adjacent. Note that stairs cannot be connected to stairs. No room may be placed adjacent to the fenced portion of an outdoors room. Note that if you cannot legally place a room, then you may not purchase it. Next, the player gains points for placing the room. Score the number of points within the castle shape on the room tile. Then add or subtract points based on any symbols present in the center of the room that was just placed. These symbols might indicate that points are lost for the room's walls being connected to rooms of the types noted, or they might gain additional points for being connected by entrances to the particular room types. Downstairs rooms gain points for having rooms of a particular type anywhere within the castle. Once the room that was placed is scored, score points from any adjacent or connected rooms based on the same symbols we just covered, and add the points if the placed room matches the type a downstairs room was looking for. Finally, for room placement, if you complete a room by properly connecting all of its doorways with other doorways, then you gain a special benefit that depends on the type of room you just completed. If you completed a living room, then you can immediately rescore all the points for that room, including the points in the center and all the center icon points, including from adjacent and downstairs rooms. Completing an activity room scores you an extra 5 points immediately. Completing a sleeping room allows you to select up to 2 rooms from a single stack and place them on top of the room cards, meaning they will be drawn and placed next before the deck of cards in the next round. Even at the end of the game, this might allow a player to empty a stack and gain additional points. More on that in scoring. Completing an outdoor room gives the player 10,000 marks immediately. Completing a utility room allows the player to draw 2 bonus cards and keep 1, placing the other on the bottom of the deck. Completing a food room allows the player to take another turn immediately. Completing a corridor allows the player to immediately gain and place a hallway or stairs tile. Note that this benefit can only be taken once per turn, but if you gained an extra turn from completing a food room, then you can gain this benefit again. Completing a downstairs room lets you choose any of the other 7 completion words to receive, but you only gain this benefit for every 2 downstairs rooms that you complete. Note that if choosing the Living Room award, it is the most recently completed room that is rescored, and if they were completed simultaneously, then the player chooses which of the 2 downstairs rooms is rescored. Once the Master Builder has taken their turn to purchase a room, they put a 1,000 mark coin on every unpurchased room that remains face up in the supply. These effectively count as discounts on rooms and can be used by the player purchasing the room in question to reduce how much they pay, but are given to the Master Builder as part of building the room, or to the bank if it is the Master Builder performing the purchase. The Master Builder marker is then passed, one player to the left, and the next round begins. Once the stack of room cards is empty, this signals the final round of the game. If there are insufficient cards for the number of rooms, then reshuffle the deck and draw enough cards to fill out the number of rooms in the face-up supply. Scoring. It's time to tally up the final points. First, a player gains a point for every 10,000 marks they have. Second, all players receive 2 points for every room in their castle from a stack that is empty. This includes if all hallways or stairs have been placed. So if all of the 300 square foot rooms have been placed, then this board would receive 6 points for having 3 of those rooms. Note that both stacks of hallways must be empty for the hallways to be considered empty. Third, it's time to sort out the communal goals from the favor tiles. Whoever has the most of that favor gets 8 points. The next highest player gains 4 points, and the third highest player gains 2 points, with fourth getting 1 point. But having no elements that match that favor means no points. If 2 players tie, they take those points and the next tier's points and receive half of each. So a tie for second means grouping the points for second and third and getting half of those, with the next player only being able to get 4. place. Finally, every player reveals their bonus cards and adds the points gained to get to their final total. Whoever has the highest total wins. And in the case of a tie, whoever has the largest square footage is the winner. So go out and plan your castles according to your desires and those of the king we serve, inspired by the real-world king of Bavaria, King Ludwig II, with many of the particular rooms from his castles actually being able to be built in this game. Enjoy outwitting your fellow architects as you construct the grandest castle of them all. Be sure to support your local game stores. For us, that is Board Game To Go, who offer over 2,000 games for rental within the Toronto area and many games for purchase. If you're curious about this game, check out the link in the description. If you have any questions about the game, feel free to post them in the comments below, or take a look to see if someone else has already answered it down there, and be sure to thank them if they have. If you want to learn more about what a ranking system means, check out this video here. And if you want to learn how to play more games, check out our playlist here. And remember, keep changing, keep gaming, have fun.